How's it? It's been a couple of days since we've come back from Europe. We've just taken a couple of days to do absolutely nothing at all and just chill out and catch up with family. But yeah, I need to get back on it because we've got about 3 weeks, as I mentioned in the previous video, before we're going to head off again. Our 3-week period is determined by the date that our van can get serviced and MOT'd. So based on that date, we've got these 3 weeks to do some stuff. And what I've done is, we've got a short-nosed to-do list. We've got 8 things that we want to do. Some you might be aware of, others as a result of stuff that sort of happened while we were traveling way before we even started documenting stuff on YouTube. But the most obvious one is, number one, is this gas cooker that we're working on. For those of you who've seen the last video, we got a leak. So what I've done is I've isolated it. If I just flip this across quickly, it's been isolated down there on that tap that you can see in there. And then I've also isolated it down on the bottom, so the main isolation, so we've got no gas. So what I'm going to try and look at today is get these rings off, just see if there's nothing obvious, any loose fittings, because the roads up in Scandinavia and that were, I'm surprised we still got fillings in our back teeth, to be honest. It was that rattly. So that's one of the things we're going to look at. The other one is I want to do some work to seal a natural hole where the LPG tank is. Basically, there's a waterproof cover on the bottom where you house your electrics, you house the sender unit. That will then tell you whether or not, how much gas you've got. So you want to get that done as well, because what I've found is, and I will drop a picture of what I saw just above my shoulder here, but basically all the grit, any water off the road, everything else has been kicked up from the front driver's side tyre. It's all going inside there, and our lovely waterproof sealed unit that you've got is actually served as nothing but like a bowl basically, and all the water's collected up in there. And I think my sender unit might be knackered, so fingers crossed I can dry it out. I've spoken to the manufacturers. I'm going to reset it, see if that works. If not, I need to replace that. So item number 2 and 3 is seal that hole so it doesn't happen again, but we'll do that in more detail when I get to it. I'm going to repair or / replace that sensor unit. Number 4, that's another victim of the lot of shaky roads and everything else, is I noticed on the back there, bottom of the shower tray, or Lisa noticed, the seals come away slightly in places. So I'm going to dig that out and reseal that while we're here, so we don't risk getting any more water to floor. We're going to look at our mattress. Our mattress is a proper bed mattress, but it is really, really high up. If you look there, it's a really thick, chunky mattress that we've got there. So we're going to look to either halves it or get another one. I need to do a permanent fix to this electrical lid that I've got. Yeah, you would have seen somewhere, I think it was in Sweden, that this kept opening and in the wind. I've put some magnets on it as a temporary fix, but I haven't fixed the magnets properly. It's holding, but I just want to make sure that's a more permanent fix. So that's another job to do. If we go to my pants and sock cupboard, that's not quite clipping there. For whatever reason, that little nogging isn't clipping on there. So, excuse my pants and socks in there. So we're going to fix Shauna's pant cupboard's door. And then finally, something that happened to us in Spain. So in the summer month, we've got a 5-litre water container that sits in the fridge. And when we first used it, we filled it up. It sits in the bottom of the fridge. And the tap operates either up or down to release water. And we're not using it, it's meant to be sideways. And I think when I stuck it in, I left it that way. And when we closed the fridge door, I pushed it up. And with this fridge being sealed, we basically created a 5-litre container. And when I opened the door, all 5 litres came out. And basically we've got 2 of these flooring boards, if you can see there, are just starting to lift. So it's not a major, there's just as lost as tackiness. So I'm going to get that sorted as well. So I guess this week is all about doing some of those. I'm in no rush to do all of them. So I've just checked these 2 plates and had a good look at them. Nothing obvious, everything's fine, the holes are all clear. Doesn't look like there's any obstructions or dirty ports or anything. Another update is one of the boyos came around. He's got these gas detector. He's a gas plumber. So what we did was we turned the gas on without the ignition source. The sensor went off to detect gas, and then what we did is we turned it off. We tested all the pipes and joints, all the fittings, the connectors to the bottom of the cooker, where the gas unit joins the cooker, all of that, started the flame, pushed gas through. Fingers crossed, nothing. The detector didn't go off, so we're pretty confident that there isn't a leak from the cooker, which one is a good thing, but two, I'm not quite sure what the problem is. So I think what I'm going to go do is, even though the boyo is a plumber, it's more housing plumbing, so I'm going to get hold of the gas engineer who fitted all our gas in this van, and ask him a few questions. One thing I did notice, which I will raise with him, is the gas regulator underneath is frosting up, and I've never noticed it before, to be honest. I don't know if that's something that should be happening or not, so I'll make mention to him of that as well, and let's see what he comes back with. I'll let you guys know. Right, another day. We've made a slight change of plan. With our mattress, I think when I spoke to you yesterday, we were going to look at replacing the mattress because our mattress is quite thick. Change of plan is it's like a foam memory mattress. So we're going to take a gamble, or we're going to see if we can halve it, which is easier said than done. And if we can do that, it means we don't have to buy a new mattress. And we can save a bit of money and spend it elsewhere on our travels. So I'm just waiting for Lisa to come, and then you can have the pleasure of watching us try and get this blinking mattress out the door, because I tell you what, it's not the easiest. Which one? So after all of that, we decided not to cut the mattress anyway. But a good reason for it though, to be fair, is just before we went to cut it, I thought I'd check to see, one, what mattresses we can find and what the kind of cost is going to be like, in case I balls it up. And then looking at it, to be honest, our mattress is thinner than a lot of the ones that are for sale out there, so I don't want to halve the mattress, mess it up, and then have to go buy a mattress that's thicker. Then it just completely defeats the object of what we're doing. So for now, we're sticking with the original. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So how does this feel?
This is freaking weird. I feel like I'm driving a go-kart. It feels like my backside is like right on the tarmac.
So we are just on our way into B&Q to pick up the replacement flooring. So we're having a day out in the little go-kart.
Yes, indeed.
And it does feel weird, doesn't it? It feels so small. So.
Everything seems so crowded.
So, hello.
Yeah.
There's no seat between us.
Yeah, where's that personal space?
Yes. No.
Feels like ages since we've been here.
It does.
I think the last time we went B&Q was actually building the van, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
We lived here. And now we're back again.
Yippee!
For the van. God, we thought they didn't have any. There it is. New flooring. Or old new flooring.
What's that for?
Say again? What's this for? This is to stop me falling down the gap in the bed. I'm going to get this This is going to set the back of the van. I'm going to fix it to the metal frame, and then what that does is, hopefully the mattress will then go against that and not do that slopey thing, and then I end up wedged between the back doors and the mattress.
It's so true, he does.
And then you'll have a grumpy Sean. So this is to stop my grumpiness. So that's what that's for.
Anti-grumpy ball.
That's the anti-grumpy Sean thing. All done.
Happy chappy?
Very. I almost said something there I shouldn't have said, so I didn't have to censor it. Right, I need to get off my lazy backside and do some work. I want to fit the flooring quickly because that's probably the easiest job. So that way I get to do some work, but I get to do the easiest jobs first. Only problem is I haven't been in my tools since I built the van 7 months ago, so yeah, you'll have to give me 5 minutes. I need to find out where everything is because it's a bit chaotic. I found everything I need, but not a Stanley knife, which is the real necessity. For somebody who owns 3 Stanley knives, this is a ridiculous problem to have. Oh, they're not there either. Where on earth did I put them? Not gonna lie, that was a hell of a find. Because, yeah, chaos is in the garage. But we've got one, but no blade. But the perks of building your own van, and when you do carpet lining, is you got thousands of Stanley knife blades because you go through them like nobody's business. Whoops. So yeah, change this blade, then we get in the van and change those floorboards, hopefully without too much hassle. In fact, it looks like the biggest hassle is going to be getting the blade to fit back in. Alright, let's step into the mess that is the van. Look at the state of it. At least we'd have absolute kittens if she walked in right now. But yeah, let's get this on. Turn the heating on. Balmy 18 degrees. So let that warm up a bit. Right, so upon closer inspection, originally I thought I had 2 that I need to replace. It looks like there's 4 I need to replace. The small one over here, where it's lifted slightly where the bulk of the water went. This one, which is the fallout of the other one, and then right close here we got this one, the one that's backing onto, and this one's chipped. I don't know how that's happened. Yeah, so not straightforward, but still straightforward. Went to work today. Well, the awesome news seems to be that where the floor's lifted, none of the water has got underneath it. Other than being a little dirty, the subfloor is super dry, which is freaking bonus. Have a look, see. You can see it's still tacky and there's a bit of dirt, but there's no evidence so far of any water. We'll have to see what it's like under the other ones, but yeah, looking good so far. How to stab yourself while doing this. Don't do it this way, folks. Do it the proper way, from the other side. My hands are working, but my heart is not here. My mind is far away from this place. Far away from work, Bash bosh, another floorboard in. So the floor we use in the van, for those of you who want to know, is they sort of like a vinyl flooring. It's just a simple peel and stick. So there's the final finish, it's a vinyl floor. And then there's the backing that you peel off. It's very hard wearing, to be honest. We've had no problems and I think we've been absolutely fine. Van decided to spill 5 litres of water all over it and create my own little reservoir in the van, but yeah, that's what we're using. That stuff there. We buy ours from B&Q, so for those of you who aren't from the UK, it's just like our local hardware store. I'm sure you guys have got a place, you know what vinyl floor is, but that's what we've used for a finished floor in our van. Just removed the cover because I've been looking at the gas sender unit underneath the van, and I realised that we are missing something that we purchased and I don't know where it is. Babes, have you seen where the parcel from Amazon is? I'm just looking for that gas cover that we...
Yes, I want to put this one.
Where, in here?
Yeah, I want to put this one with a cooker.
What, that big one there?
That's the one.
Great. Thank you. Let's have a look at this bad boy. Look at the size packaging it's come in. And then you'll see why I didn't think it was what it was. Cover the addresses so you can't see where we live. Stalkers. Joking. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, it is as well.
Told you.
That's what I'm after. That's what has come in. Look at the size difference. Sustainability, Amazon sustainability. Right, and this is the cover for the LPG unit under the van. We lost ours when we had our accident in Sweden. It's the only thing that came off. And that fits there. Right, now that cover's on. For those of you who follow the channel, thank you very much, firstly. Much appreciated. You guys will remember that in Sweden, I think it was, we were having a problem with knowing how much gas was in our tank because our dial, our electronic dial up the top, was fluctuating. When we had what we thought was a load of gas, we didn't, and vice versa, and it was a bit of a guessing game. And having Googled it, a lot of the forums and that said it tends to be on the cold temperature, which it could and could not be. But we think we found a more realistic issue. Alright, I'm going to try and show you why I think we're not getting a proper reading upstairs. My sender unit, it's going to be a bit difficult for me to get in here, I think. My days, I can't really see. Basically, my sender unit is in there. And now if you look at this design, this is where the electrical cable goes in. And you've got this boot that stops water from getting in. And if I squeeze myself this way, I don't know if you can see up here, this is where a gas line comes in. If you look from this side, I can fit my finger through there, and I think that's why we filled up. Everything's come through this hole, and that's why the sender unit was underwater. My electrics for that was underwater, and I think the sender unit might be poked, but like I said before, I'm going to try and get that out and have a look-see and see if I can reset it. In regards to the actual gas leak that we had, the cooker seems absolutely fine. I think I said that previously, and you would have seen I found the guy installed it. And what I noticed was when I was removing this cover the other day, this regulator over here was frosting over, and they said straight away, a combination of this frosting over, the sort of the Bunsen burner gas torch effect we're getting up on the cooker, means that they believe we've overfilled the tank. Now I know we haven't overfilled the tank because I'm the one who filled it up last, and the way it works is whatever your capacity of your tank is, you get an 80% fill with a 20% sort of headroom to allow the expansion of gases, and you can't fill any more than that. And when you fill it and you push the button on the LPG, once it gets to that 80% mark, your float will let the system know and it stops taking gas. And we believe the float is stuck in this tank. And what we've done is we're thinking we're stopping when we reach the 80%, but we're actually filling it up 100%. And what we've now got is we've got liquid in the system, and that's what's causing our problems. But I'm just waiting for the guy who installed it to confirm that he can come out before we go on to our next journey, because I want him to give it a once over. But what we did manage to do was we burnt a lot of that liquid off by just running the heating continuously until this defrosted, all went back to normal. And now when we look at the flames inside the cooker, we're back to normal. So hopefully that's the issue. But what we need to confirm is that this float isn't still stuck in here. So I couldn't get the tank sender off, because in order to get that off I have to remove a heat guard and everything else, and it's just too freaking cold out there. Seeing as time is on our side to a degree, I'm not going to do it. But what I did do was I removed power to that unit, and theoretically speaking what should happen is once the power's gone, brought back a cup of tea there, once the power's gone it should go back to zero. When I disconnect the power nothing happens, so I think it is poked really. So I've been online to where we bought it. They're only £17.92 excluding VAT. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to buy a new one, and then when the guy comes to look at our system he can fit it for us. And if he gets the old one to work, we'll just keep the old one as a spare. Something else I'm going to purchase is a floor seal. Now that hole I showed you where we think all the ice and the water comes through, you wouldn't believe it, but they don't make anything to cover that up, because apparently it's not a real issue. Clearly it is. So having spoken to the manufacturers, they do a floor seal that I could probably cut and then stick a flex to fit in there. So I'm going to purchase one of those as well, and I think that's the solution to that problem. And then hopefully once we get the sender unit working, we get it sealed, closed all up, and we shouldn't have that problem anymore. But we'll have to see, won't we? So as the week draws to a close, that's 1 week we've been back. We're itching to get moving, if I'm honest. 1 week was enough to sit still. We just want to get going again, but clearly we need to do some more stuff. However, with the gas working the way it should be working and heating, we've made the decision that I'm not going to be lazy next week. We've got plenty of time to do what we need to do. So rather than just try and do everything and rush it through, because I just won't do it that way, is we're going to maybe work a day or two, and then we're going to go for some day trips, maybe an overnighter somewhere next week. Get a walk in, maybe even go up to Dartmoor, I don't know. But we want to do something different. So next week's video I think is going to be a combination of doing the last little bits on the van, hopefully having a date to get it the once over done by the gas engineer, and go out and do some stuff rather than stay indoors, because we're just not used to it. It's not our thing anymore. So yeah, so those are the plans. Thank you for sticking with us this week. I know there wasn't much adventure stuff, but you know what? It's on its way. And once we've got the gas leak fixed, we'll tell you what the next plans are. And I guess until then, there's nothing else left to say, but catch you on the flip side.